so good that it can't be wrong. I'm coming in hot, you heard me. And we be taking shots and if not too nerdy.
Yo, what is up, fellow subscribers of my new sponsor? This is HDDeer here, and I am coming at you guys today with a story. I know this is kind of like, it should be like a little introduction video, but I'm not into the whole introduction, whatever you guys want to call it. I don't really talk about the gameplay. I don't ever talk about myself. I don't talk about what my problems are. I usually talk about what I do with the gameplay. What I do. Well, actually, I never talk about that. I just I was never for that. I'm always the guy for the B storytellings. And if you guys like the stories, you guys gotta come over to my channel. You gotta check me out. You gotta watch my other stories, and then you gotta stay tuned for more. So, guys, if you enjoy this story, please subscribe to me. This is only one story. There's many more to come, so I do hope you guys enjoy this story. Alright, so the story today is about my first beer. And this is a full-on, full can, full bottle, whatever you want to say. It's not the type of beer where your father gives you a little sip because maybe your favorite team won the Super Bowl, or because it's your birthday, or your 12th birthday, and he wants to give you a beer just because you're getting older, just to celebrate with you. It's none of that. Full beer, and, okay, so let me get some things down first. I was 10 years old when this happened. There you go. Now, it might be hard to believe, but just stick with it, alright? So, one day, me and my friend was walking to the playground, and we saw a bunch of kids in there, and I was like, man, these kids look badass. So I walked in there, and I was like, yo, like, what are you guys doing in here, man? And then, like, they just looked at me like I was retarded or something, I don't know, but, then, like, this one guy took weed out of his pocket, and he said to roll it up, and I'm like, dude, why are you smoking grass, man? I didn't know what it was at the time, so, yeah, you gotta kinda leave me alone. I didn't know. I was 10, get off my dick, alright? So, then after he finished smoking all that crap, he took out his cell phone, and he called one of his friends, asked him to go get him a beer, and I was like, ooh, I want a beer. And then he was like, well, nah, man, dude, you're so young. And I'm like, well, dude, I'll give you, like, $10. And then he was like, holy shit, really? And I'm like, yeah, man, I'll give you $10. He was like, alright, then give me $10 and I'll give you a beer. So, I just noticed my dad going up the road, so I ran out of the playground, and I started chasing after him. I was like, Dad, slow down, man. Dude, slow down, I gotta get some money from you. And then he pulled over, and he was like, how much do you want? And I'm like, do you have $10? And he's like, no, I don't have 10 on me right now, but I do have 7. So I'm like, alright, well, I'll take that. So, I ended up taking 7. I went back to the playground, and I ended up begging the guy. I was like, my dad didn't have 10, but I have 7. Can you please just let me off with that? And can you please just let me off with it for a first time? And he was like, yeah, sure, man, why not? So I gave him the $7. Then after the beer arrived, he gave me the beer, and I couldn't get it open, so I asked someone to open it for me, because it was really hard to open. So that guy took like one of those beer bottle opener thingies, shoved it out of his pocket, and then, took it out of his pocket and just popped it open. So then after he was done with that, I started to drink it, and I was like, this tastes disgusting. Like, can I shake it up? And they're like, nah, man, dude, just drink the beer. It's gonna cause a state if you shake it up. And I'm like, well, nah, I didn't say anything to him directly, but I said in my head that if I paid for it, I should be allowed to do what I want. But, I didn't say anything after that. So, after I was over halfway gone, just choking, I was urging like crazy. I asked anybody if they wanted it, and everybody said they wanted it. I was like, nah, screw you guys. So I kept on drinking it until it was all gone. And I threw up. I literally threw up. It's just, everybody knows how if you don't like something, it's not going to taste good to your taste bugs, and it's not going to go right, and you're eventually going to throw up if you don't like it. So after that was all over with, I ran home crying pretty much. I went up to my dad, and I said, Dad, I love you. And I'm guessing he smelled the beer on my breath or something. And then he came out my room, he was like, Mitchell, what were you doing down to the playground? I'm like, nothing, man. Like, all these bad kids were drinking beer, and that's why I came home. And then he asked me, why aren't you watching a movie with your friend? And I'm like, well, my friend got sick because of all the beer that they were drinking. So, anyways, guys, my dad bought it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.